With a call to eradicate the sequel trilogy now in full swing and seemingly gaining momentum by the day, it is critical that we look at this new Filoniverse theory as potentially the thing that will replace the Disney canon timeline. Hey guys, what's going on? Well, in today's video we're going to be talking about if the Filoniverse is already happening, as well as looking at some evidence within the Star Wars canon timeline that may give us some insight and clues that say that it already is happening. Also, this isn't a call to erase the sequel trilogy. I am simply providing evidence of what I see that may lead to the assumption or determination that we are in fact already in the Filoniverse. But as always, before we get started, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars content. Now let's get into today's video. Okay, so just a quick recap. The Filoniverse is an alternate canon timeline. So the timeline splits where Ezra saves Ahsoka from Darth Vader in the World Between Worlds episode in Rebels. The timeline where Ahsoka dies is the Disney canon timeline where the sequel trilogy takes place, and the one where she lives is the one where The Mandalorian takes place and the rest of the Filoniverse will happen. Also, if you want more info on this specific topic, you should go and check out my other video that I did about the Filoniverse and go give that one a watch. Now, one of the biggest factors that makes me think that we are already in the Filoniverse is the character of Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Now, Luke was by far, in my opinion, the worst treated character in the sequel trilogy. To a lot of fans, we were devastated by the fact that our beloved hero, the son of Skywalker, the Jedi Knight that redeemed Darth Vader and saved the universe, turned into an old hermit who gave up and was just waiting for the Jedi to end and die. I mean, Luke did a better job at destroying the Jedi Order than Sidious did, so, well, that tells you something. Anyway, but this was very different from the Jedi that we saw at the end of The Mandalorian Season 2. I mean, this guy was a hero. Now, I know that The Mandalorian takes place like decades before the sequel trilogy, and this was obviously before Ben Solo destroyed Luke's Jedi Academy. But within that lies the evidence. Luke, at this point in The Mandalorian, is active in the galaxy, and he has already begun recruiting for his Jedi Academy and possibly has already even started his Jedi Academy. I mean, why else would he have taken Grogu? And I also don't see Luke really waiting around to restart the Jedi Order. So Luke has started his Jedi Academy in the year 9 or 10 ABY, and that's the year that The Mandalorian Season 2 takes place. And Ben Solo, his supposedly first Padawan, didn't start training until 15 ABY, so the timelines don't really line up there. I mean, why would they say that Ben Solo was his first Padawan if he has Grogu like 5 or 6 years earlier? I mean, did he just like chill with Grogu for 5 or 6 years and not really train him or anything? You know, I thought talent without training is nothing, so I don't really see Luke just not training Grogu or finding other Force sensitives to train. Plus, as a side note, Jon Favreau is a big fan of Luke Skywalker, and he was also not a fan of the way that he was treated in The Last Jedi, so he may already be setting him up for redemption in some alternate Filoniverse timeline. You know, we should really call it the Filoni-Favreau-verse, or something like that, the Favloniverse, or something, you know, because they're both in charge of it. Anyway. Another character that provides some evidence for a possible Filoniverse is Grogu. This extremely powerful baby Yoda is now canonically with Luke Skywalker, so, I mean, what happened to him? Why isn't he in the sequel trilogy? Is he dead? Did they really introduce us to this adorable little green Jedi just to have him be slaughtered by Kylo Ren? Now, I'm hoping that The Mandalorian will give us more insight into Grogu's life and what this story will be, just like the Clone Wars did with Ahsoka. I mean, Ahsoka wasn't in the prequels, and the Clone Wars perfectly explained where she was and added an incredible character to the saga. And so I am hoping that The Mandalorian will do the same thing with Grogu. But it still begs the question, I mean, what happened to him? Where is he? If this powerful Jedi was still alive during the sequels, why did Luke Skywalker abandon him and go off and become a hermit? And if he wasn't killed by Kylo Ren, then why wasn't he fighting Emperor Palpatine? Or answering Leia's desperate call for help in The Last Jedi? I mean, are you telling me that Grogu and all the other allies that we see in The Mandalorian were just nowhere to be found? I mean, maybe they're all on Mandalore and Grogu and Din Djarin are just ruling it up as father and son. You know, that's going to be the plot for Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Din Djarin and Grogu just becoming these super powerful dictators on Mandalore and playing keep away with Bo-Katan and the Darksaber. Another character that we are all wondering where she is and what she's doing during the sequel trilogy is Ahsoka Tano. Now, I can understand why Grogu wasn't in the sequels because he wasn't invented yet, just like I know why Ahsoka wasn't in the prequels because she wasn't invented yet. But by the time the sequels came out, she was one of the most popular characters in all of Star Wars. So I am a little confused as to why she was left out, especially if she was alive. And again, if she was alive, are you telling me that Luke just abandoned her and she abandoned Luke? Again, it doesn't make sense to me. I mean, we did hear her voice in The Rise of Skywalker, but that just gives me more suspicion as to why she wasn't there. I mean, was this her speaking from the netherworld of the Force? Or was she speaking to Rey from the other side of the galaxy? I mean, if she was speaking to Rey from the netherworld of the Force, that means she's dead. And that just gives more credence to the Ahsoka lives, Ahsoka dies timeline. And if she's alive, then that means that she was speaking to Rey from somewhere else in the galaxy, and she was aware of her situation and just didn't act on it or do anything to help her or the Resistance or anything like that. So which is it? I mean, I can't imagine a threat larger than Darth Sidious and the Sith returning. So why wasn't Ahsoka there? What was she doing that was so much more important than helping this young Jedi Rey defeat the Sith? And the thing is, she was already an invented character, so Disney had the ability to take that character and put her in the sequel trilogy. I mean, that really would have tied everything together even more in my opinion, but whatever, that's just what I think. Now, I know that Dave Filoni has said that Ahsoka is alive during The Rise of Skywalker, but that hasn't been confirmed yet in canon. Now, hopefully the Ahsoka show will clear that up and tell us what she's been up to and where she was during the events of episodes 7, 8, and 9. But Dave Filoni has also said that Ahsoka's survival is key to the story. So what does that tell us? I mean, Ahsoka is really the key to everything. Ezra saving her may have created two timelines, and that opens up the way for the Filoniverse to actually happen. So, obviously, she's super important. Another factor that kind of convinces me that there is a Filoniverse is all the shows that are being headed up by Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. I mean, you have The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Rangers of the New Republic, and those are just the shows that have been announced. They've also said that all these shows will be interweaved and connected one with another, sort of like the MCU has done with their movies. Now, most showrunners only have one show, yet Jon and Dave have 4, and also have total creative control over all their projects. I mean, if that isn't a sign of things to come, then I don't know what is. Now, looking at one of these things on its own isn't very convincing. Just looks like some minor continuity errors and 2 very successful Star Wars fans creating Star Wars shows. But together they weave a nice web of convincing evidence that the Filoniverse is already taking place and we're right in the middle of it. Now, this could all just be a bunch of crap, just people looking for things and seeing things that aren't really there. You know, it really wouldn't be that big of a surprise to me if I'm wrong. But at minimum, this shows that something is going on in the Star Wars universe as far as creative control goes. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have done a great job with Star Wars so far, and they deserve all the credit and shows that are coming to them. I mean, these 2 guys have been involved with how many good Star Wars shows? So even if the Filoniverse alternate universe thing really isn't happening, I'm still excited for all the shows that are going to be coming out in the next few years. Now, again, this is not a call to eradicate the sequels. I don't think we should. Again, I am just simply pointing out some things that I see that make me think that maybe the Filoniverse is happening. And again, I'm trying really hard just to focus in on things that are happening within the Star Wars story right now, you know? I mean, forget all the drama at Lucasfilm, whether it's there or not, and the drama between the fans. I am looking strictly at the story here, and there seems to be just some things that I would like answered. That's pretty much it. But now, what is the likelihood of this actually happening, or the fact that it's already happening? Well, unfortunately, officially, the chances are very slim. No announcements have been made, and I don't think an announcement will ever be made if they decide to go in this direction. If they were going to do this alternate Filoniverse other canon timeline, I don't think that they would announce it at a press conference or some Disney Investor Day meeting. I think that they would let the story do the talking. They would allow us, the audience, to figure it out for ourselves within Star Wars. Now, of course, as I have said before, I don't really like alternate timelines, but I do see the reason why people would want this, because with one timeline, no matter what they do or how awesome things are, Luke Skywalker still ends up quitting and failing. But yeah, I don't think that this will ever be announced, and the chances of it actually happening right now are pretty slim. But it looks like at least there's some groundwork being set up for it. The Filoniverse is something that could unite the fandom or tear it apart, and it is critical that we take care of Star Wars. It is precious to so many people and provides a way for us to escape to a wonderful universe, and that's all we really want. We want good Star Wars content so that we can escape to that galaxy far, far away and just forget about our problems for a while, and then come back stronger and face them head on. I actually love where Star Wars is right now. There is an excitement surrounding it, and I'm happy to be involved. Anyway, that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Is the Filoniverse a possibility? Are we already in it? Is it coming? Let me know. Also, don't forget to subscribe for more Star Wars content. And remember to forever be a Star Wars fan.